NASCAR sets the date. Toyota, Ford, and Chevy will reveal their versions of the next-gen car on May 5th. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. Lots to get to today. NASCAR will officially reveal the next-gen car in less than a month. Yesterday, Tyler Reddick in testing got into the outside wall, damaged the prototype a little bit. Twitter's messing things up. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff in today's episode, but before we get to all of that, Out of the Groove is sponsored by aspirin. Bayer aspirin, to be specific, for pain relief, for stroke prevention, for heart health. Bayer aspirin is a trusted brand available at Walmart. Be sure to check it out next time you're not feeling 100%. Bayer aspirin available at Walmart, proud supporters of Out of the Groove. Now we're going to talk about the next gen car in a second. We're also going to talk a little bit of silly season, specifically some rumors around Alex Bowman. But before we get to all that, we do need to address a statement that was put out by David Gilliland Racing this morning regarding their driver Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray was involved in a single car accident last night in Statesville, North Carolina. Gray was transported to a local hospital where he remains in stable condition. Gray, who currently drives in the ARCA Menard Series, is scheduled to make his first Camping World Truck Series start at Richmond on Saturday, April 17th. Gray's participation in the event will be determined at a later time. First and foremost, all of our thoughts are with Taylor Gray, his family, and the David Gilliland Racing team, hoping for a quick and speedy recovery. Good to know that he is in stable condition. It does sound like the incident was severe enough, however, to jeopardize his upcoming NASCAR start. So again, we don't know any more information than that, at least as of the time I'm recording this. But again, wishing Taylor Gray the best, hoping for a speedy and full recovery. Definitely a relief to know that it was not worse, but obviously wishing him the absolute best. Now, in some lighter news, Twitter absolutely botched it today, if you can believe it. Last night on their trending tab, at least for my trending tab, and apparently that of many other racing fans, they began running this headline: "Fans wish Dale Earnhardt Jr. a happy birthday." Oh, that's pretty cool, good-natured, very nice. The only problem is it's not Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s birthday. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s birthday is October 10th. It is April 8th. So they're a little more than 6 months off on that one. What you gonna do? You know, when I clicked on that headline, fans wish Dale Jr. happy birthday, the page is absolutely blank. It just says, "Nothing to see here. Check back later to see tweets about this." I guess by check back later, I'll check back in October and hopefully we'll see some happy birthday wishes. Hey, I'm sure Dale Jr. can't complain. He's getting 2 happy birthday wishes this year. That's pretty special. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Kind of funny, kind of random. Anyway, now let's actually get to some real news. We'll talk about the next gen in a moment, but first we gotta talk about some silly season rumors. After last year's wild roller coaster of a silly season, so far 2021 has been extremely subdued. I mean, there are certainly some rumors out there. Kurt Busch and Monster Energy put out a video around Daytona teasing his retirement at the end of this season. Ryan Newman, another veteran driver who is in the last year of his contract, there have been rumors swirling that he could retire at the end of this season, so that could shake things up. Also the rumors that Richard Petty or another small tier Chevy team will switch to Toyota, the rumors that 2311 Racing is going to expand to a 2-car team. Those could of course open up seats for new drivers perhaps. We already know that Austin Cindric will contend for Rookie of the Year with the Wood Brothers next year, so there have been some rumors, there have been some things talked about. Of course, Joe Gibbs didn't waste any time. Before the season even started, he'd locked up Denny Hamlin for multiple years and Martin Truex for at least one more year, perhaps only one more year at this point. But Joe Gibbs Racing didn't let any of their drivers test the free agent market. There are still a few high-profile drivers on expiring contracts that could theoretically jump ship, head to different teams, but at least right now, I know it's only April, but there have been virtually no rumors to suggest Keselowski's going anywhere, to suggest Eric Almirola's going anywhere, or Alex Bowman. Now, I want to talk about Alex Bowman today, because last year Hendrick only signed a 1-year extension with him, and he took over the 48. He's now the face of Ally and Ally's involvement in NASCAR. With him being on an expiring contract, many Bowman fans have sort of been holding their breath, hoping for great results this season, because his future at Hendrick is far from guaranteed. Now, a couple of y'all actually tagged me or sent this Instagram post to me, but it was an Instagram post this morning from Ally Racing's official account, and the word choice in this post is quite notable. Here's what the post looks like. It's a photo of Alex Bowman. In the lower left, they're telling you when the Martinsville race is scheduled for this weekend, but on the upper right there, you have a quote from Andrea Brimmer, who is the Chief Marketing and Public Relations Officer for Ally, and this quote, and the word that's bolded there, "Alex deserves a sponsor that's as committed as he is." And if you look at the caption beneath the photo, the caption reads, "The commitment of a great ally never wavers." The fact that the word committed was as boldened or was a different color than the rest of the font, it was clearly intended to be highlighted, intended to be focused on. That's a key word, committed. Committed. Perhaps the post is completely innocuous, but I'm desperate at this point, y'all, for some sort of silly season rumor or suggestion. To me, I don't see why the PR exec for Ally would be using words such as committed if they weren't, in fact, committed to Alex Bowman beyond this year. Ally signed with Hendrick through 2023. Could this mean an extension for Alex Bowman? Maybe a 1 year, maybe a 2 year extension to last the term of Ally? Could that be on the table for Alex Bowman sooner rather than later? I guess we don't know. I mean, Ally does not work for Hendrick Motorsports. They do pay a lot of money to Hendrick Motorsports, and I'm sure we'll have a say in who drives the 48 car going forward, but to me that looks like Ally, or at least their PR exec, is a fan of Alex Bowman and would like to see Alex Bowman remain their spokesperson for at least another season. So perhaps breathe a slight sigh of relief, Alex Bowman fans. Maybe I'm completely reaching here, but they use the word committed a lot. And the word committed means one thing. I'd take that post to suggest Alex Bowman will stay in the 48 car for at least one more season, but until Hendrick and Bowman actually put pen to paper, nothing is confirmed. In fact, this is maybe the loosest rumor or loosest suggestion I've ever run with, but like I said, guys, I'm desperate. I'm as desperate as any of you guys for news about silly season. Is Kurt Busch going to retire? Will Brad Keselowski sign an extension with Penske? Is Alex Bowman going anywhere? Where will Matt DiBenedetto land now that he's losing his ride? I'm desperate for information as much as you guys are. I have a feeling with the next gen car right around the corner, I have a feeling many of these big name stars like the Bowmans, like the Keselowskis, like the Almirollas, I don't think those guys are going anywhere. I think a lot of the interesting moves this silly season will have to do with Toyota. Does 2311 expand? Do they add a second seat? Who gets that seat? And then besides Toyota, the other shakeups in silly season will only happen, in my opinion, if Kurt Busch and or Ryan Newman actually do retire. Then you have an open Ganassi seat, supposedly, perhaps an open Roush seat. Drivers could land there as well. So unless those guys retire though, I think Toyota, and namely 2311 Racing, is going to be the most notable player in this year's silly season. I don't see the other big name superstars leaving their current rides, not with the next gen, a brand new car, so much changing already behind the scenes. Now is not the best time to completely change your driver. You've got your guys, you're committed to your guys. Ally sounds committed to Alex Bowman, so I just wanted to throw that out there for all the desperate Alex Bowman fans for any sort of future information about their driver. Anyway, now, speaking of the future and speaking of the next gen car, let's talk about the huge news from yesterday. NASCAR officially revealed the reveal date of the next gen, a trailer for a trailer. But yes, NASCAR and more importantly Chevy, Ford, and Toyota will reveal their specific versions of the next gen car on May 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is a Wednesday afternoon, Cinco de Mayo. But yes, NASCAR published this short little hype video onto Twitter, followed by this cool looking futuristic graphic right here. Rebirth of stock. I don't know if that's my favorite tagline in the world, but nonetheless, yes, we will finally learn more finite details about the next gen car in less than a month. Because not only will they reveal the bodies, what the Camaro, what the Mustang, and yes, the Camry, Toyota confirmed in a tweet yesterday, will be a Camry. Not only will we see what those cars look like, and that's going to be kind of cool, I guess I'll admit, I'm excited for that, but more importantly, NASCAR has reported that we will learn other details about the next gen car. I mean, we know about a lot of the differences in how the steering mechanism works. We know about the single lug nuts. We understand the tires. The wheels are bigger. There are already some finer details we've learned about through all the prototype tests, but finally NASCAR is hopefully going to confirm many of these details, and we'll maybe discuss some other details that fans are intrigued by and drivers alike. Things like what kind of horsepower are they planning to run under the hood? I mean, that's something that I think NASCAR will likely report on next month. We will certainly be reacting to that entire announcement the day it happens. We will have a video for sure. I've already marked my calendar. Very, very exciting. May 5th in the afternoon. The next gen car, it's here. Now, I saw some fans on Twitter were suggesting, hey, if they're revealing the cars in early May, could we see NASCAR surprise us with a race, a next-gen race for the All-Star race at Texas a month and a half later? It was just fans saying this. It's absolutely not happening. I don't think NASCAR would even have 30 or 36 next-gen cars built by that time, let alone time for the teams to prepare them and everything. That's not going to happen. It'd be foolish for NASCAR to do that regardless. They've been so careful in their marketing and their hype building for this new car to premiere it kind of in a rushed fashion at Texas Motor Speedway of all tracks, I can't imagine it's going to put on a great show, and that would just leave a bad first impression on race fans. I mean, why would you want to debut your brand new car at probably the worst racetrack in NASCAR, where it would likely not put on a great race and fans would jump to conclusions about the new car? Oh, it didn't actually fix Texas. I don't know if anything can fix Texas. Let's just be real for a second. So it would have been foolish for NASCAR to even try it. They're not going to do it, so don't worry about that. I saw people talking about it on Twitter, just fans mostly speculating. It's not happening. It's fun to speculate, but it's not happening. Now, one thing that did happen yesterday, Tyler Reddick slapped the outside wall at Darlington with that valuable next-gen prototype. It was apparently during the final run of the day, got a little too high, got a little too handsome with that race car, scraped the outside wall, showed off some of the damage on Twitter. You can see some of the photos. Even NASCAR was publishing it, almost as if they were proud. They were proud of their race car. Look, our race car got damaged by one of our drivers. Like, isn't that cool? I don't know. It almost felt like NASCAR was proud of it. And I think NASCAR knows why they're posting that. You know, NASCAR wants fans to know that this car is different and is going to be more difficult for drivers to handle than the current, at least the current 550 horsepower version of the Cup Series cars. And Tyler Reddick this week actually said as much, posted this clip to NASCAR's Twitter. This is what Tyler Reddick said when describing the next gen car.
It's still very challenging, honestly, if not more challenging to get around this racetrack now than in this car than what I've been used to in Xfinity or the Cup Series. So
the Xfinity cars have 650 horsepower. The composite body, which is also crossed over into the next gen, that composite body I think will be key. Tyler Reddick says this car is more difficult to drive. We always knew it was going to be different for sure with the shifter, the steering, all that stuff. We knew it would be different. It'll take some getting used to, but it is nice to hear Tyler Reddick say it will be hard to drive. You know, I want a car that's hard to drive, but I want a car that's not so hard to drive that nobody can pass or everyone's afraid to make a move. I want that sweet spot in the middle somewhere. The problem in like 2018, 2017, some of the mile and a halves with the extremely low downforce and higher horsepower is, yeah, I mean, the cars by themselves were a lot to handful. Drivers had to really be on top of their game to run well, but at the same time, with all the side force the Gen 6 cars create, the moment drivers got side by side or pinched each other at all at these mile and a half or 2 mile tracks, it was so easy to get loose, to completely lose the car entirely. And that's why passing was so difficult at many of those tracks those couple of seasons. Now, the Gen 6, again, has a huge issue of side force. From what we've heard, the next gen car doesn't quite have that same cushion to lean on. I think that's why a lot of drivers have been saying the next gen handles differently and is perhaps a little bit harder to drive. Now, I don't want to pick on Tyler Reddick. I mean, he did slap the outside wall, but he is not the first driver to lose control and spin out during next gen testing. I believe William Byron spun out at, I think it was Auto Club last year. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. I think Eric Jones spun out in a test as well. I cannot remember for sure. And I thought another driver scraped the wall. Did Buescher hit the wall? No, I don't remember who the fourth one was, but I believe another driver did scrape the wall at some point. You know, it's difficult. There hasn't been a lot of media coverage at these tests, very few cameras on site. You know, NASCAR is, of course, very selective with what they want the public to know. So I'm not sure how many drivers have had issues, but I know Tyler Reddick is not the first driver to spin out or hit the wall with this car. So I don't mean to pick on Tyler Reddick. It's good to see that these cars are a bit more to handle than the current Gen 6. I think that's a good thing. I think most fans will agree that's a good thing, but again, we've still only seen one next gen car on track at a time. I mean, I guess we did see two at the Roval a few months back, but I don't know what to make of that test. That's a road course. We haven't seen multiple next gen cars on an intermediate or a short track at the same time together, so until that happens, still a lot of speculation, but we'll get a lot more information May 5th with the next gen announcement. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys are expecting from the next gen car down in the comments below. That's all I've got for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR news, rumors, predictions every single day. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters as well. I could not do this show without your tremendous support. Xfinity cars are on track tomorrow night, Cup Series Saturday night. A lot of fun Martinsville action is on deck. We'll have videos, we'll have reactions as usual. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.